Welcome back to Mass Appeal. Smith Vocational and Agricultural High School's open house is coming up. Here to tell us a little bit more, Dr. Andy Lincoln-Hoker. He's the principal. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
First, I want to talk a little bit about Smith Voc before we get into the open house. What's it all about, and how is it different from a traditional education?
Yeah, so Smith Voc is actually the oldest agricultural high school in the country,
Wow.
And we are the first vocational school in the state. So there's about 26 vocational schools in the state, and we offer, at Smith Voc, we offer 15 shops, ranging from agriculture with animal science and ag mech and horticulture, cosmetology, culinary, manufacturing, all the trades, so really something for everybody.
It seems in a way that a vocational high school is more like a college than it is a high school, in the fact that you have different disciplines specifically that you can get involved in.
Exactly. So in our campus itself, it's truly a campus. We have multiple buildings, so our high school students feel like they're at college. And speaking of the academics, we are a level 1 school in Massachusetts, which is based on our MCAS scores, our dropout rates, our high school graduation rates. So the students who come to us, they truly receive a college preparation curriculum along with a career preparation curriculum.
Do you also still have some of the basic tenets of things that people know and love about high school? Like, let's talk athletics. How about that?
Yes. So we have 15 athletic programs at the school, ranging from football to soccer. We have a co-op with hockey and skiing actually this year. We have baseball and softball, so if you play sports growing up, you can definitely play sports at Smith.
Well, let's talk about Skills USA and FFA. What are both of those? What do they mean, and how can your school help them?
Yes. So there's not too many schools where you can compete in your academic areas against other students across the state or the country. At Smith, you can do that. So Skills USA is a competition within your trade areas. So they start at the regional level here in Western Mass. If you win there, you move on to the states, and if you win there, you move on to the nationals. And this past year, we had a plumbing student who actually won the national competition, and he's moving on to Dubai next year at the international level.
Wow!
So then, in an FFA is the similar concept with our agricultural program, and we just had a team come back from Louisville this past week competing at the national level with dairy judging. So they learn how to show dairy cattle and judge dairy cattle. So
and that's something that in high school you can put on your resume that very few others can, especially in a more traditional high school curriculum.
Exactly.
How do you think what you do better positions students to compete in the 21st century?
Yes. So students oftentimes think high school is a preparation for college. And they go off to college and they're majoring in whatever that field of study is, but they're not truly career ready. I think many traditional schools offer culinary arts and perhaps a woodshop class, but those programs will not prepare students for an actual job right out of high school. Our students are. They are truly career and college ready when they come out of Smith Voc.
I would imagine that you have a great hybrid of kids who go to college and who immediately get placed in the job force.
We definitely do. And a lot of students are actually now choosing to come to Smith, and they tell me, Dr. Lincoln-Hoker, I do not want to be a plumber for the rest of my life, but I know plumbing will give me that job that will pay me to go through college and set me up for success afterwards.
That's
so
very forward
definitely
thinking.
A shift.
I want to talk about the open house then. If people are interested by the things that they've heard today, how can they learn a little bit more?
Definitely. So we have an open house coming up next Sunday. That's November 6th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We welcome all families and students from Western Mass. We drop them about 40 to 60 different communities, and we're going to have guided tours. They'll be able to check out all 15 shops. They'll be able to check out our academics, check out the athletic programs, other clubs and activities. They can actually apply online that day and hopefully learn in December or January if you're accepted. So we're looking forward to seeing a community on campus November 6th.
Talk a little bit about that application process. So if people can apply online, what happens from there, and how can they get accepted and enrolled?
Definitely. So this year is our first year going totally online with the application process. We're in the 21st century.
I was going to say, save some trees. That is nice.
So we'll have computers available that day. So if a student really likes us, they can apply right then and there. That will walk them through the typical process of a release that we'll send to their middle school. So then we can get their grades from the middle school, MCAS scores, the discipline, their attendance, and a guidance counselor recommendation. That will then facilitate an interview, just like the college level. We want to see how you are as a young man or a young woman, and hopefully we'll have an acceptance in December or January.
If someone's interested in something like this, why would you pitch it to them? What would you tell them to get them to kind of go over that hump and really apply and consider Smith?
I have 2 middle school students right now at home. My 2 children are middle school students. And we're talking about the high school options. And it's so competitive nowadays. And I know both my kids want to go off to college, but how are we going to afford college now? And I think the vocational schools, they offer that opportunity where they learn the academics. We're going to offer AP classes in a couple of years. So they'll be ready for college, but they'll also have that job that they can pay their way through college. So I think that's the big difference.
I would agree. The open house is coming up. People can get more information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
By the way, if you are interested in more information, smithtec.org, that's where you go.